Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. This is RCB News, and I am your host, Ryan Bowling. I want to get right down to the news at hand. I'm going to be reading an article out of the Epoch Times that came out about a week ago, and some of you already know about this, but it is entitled DeSantis Hits Back at Biden, says virus coming through wide open southern border. This is Governor DeSantis of Florida. I'm going to read a portion of this article, and I'm going to give my own spin on this. It starts off as Florida Governor Ron DeSantis hit back at targeted messaging from the White House on August 4th, telling President Joe Biden that he is, quote, standing in your way. Biden and officials in his administration have repeatedly singled out Florida recently, noting that COVID-19 cases there account for a significant portion of the new cases across the country. The escalation of cases is particularly concentrated in states with low vaccine rates. Just two states, Florida and Texas, account for 1/3 of all new COVID-19 cases in the entire country. Just two states, Biden said in an August 3rd press conference. Anytime that man says something, oh my goodness, I just want to just barf. Look, he goes on to say this. Look, we need leadership from everyone. And if some governors aren't willing to do the same thing to beat this pandemic, then they should allow businesses and universities who want to do the right thing to be able to do it. I say to these governors, please help. But if you aren't going to help, at least get out of the way of the people who are trying to do the right thing, end quote. Governors in some states, including DeSantis, have issued orders prohibiting vaccine passports. We all know what that's all about, which would require residents to show proof of vaccination in order to enter certain establishments, as well as mask mandates. And let me make a comment before I read further into this article on this whole idea of mask mandates and vaccination mandates, rather. I think this whole idea of vaccination mandates is all about taking more control of the freedom of citizens in the United States. I honestly believe that this is an attempt to control and run your life, and maybe perhaps lead to, and this has somewhat of a religious tone to it, so just bear with me with this, and eventually lead to what many Christians believe to be the mark of the beast. Because the book of Revelation does teach, now I'm not preaching, but the book of Revelation does teach that in the last days, there will be an economic system where a person will have to get a specific mark, and that this mark, whatever this mark may be, it may be a computer chip, it may be a biochip or a nanochip. No one really fully knows, it's speculation, but many believe that this will lead up to the mark of the beast, which requires that someone have this mark in order to be able to do two things: buy and sell. Meaning that if you don't have this mark, you won't be able to buy food, buy gas, whatever, and you won't be able to sell, which means you won't be able to own a business. So you won't be able to own a business, which means you got to have this form of mark or whatever this may be, a computer chip, like I said, a nanochip, whatever it is, in order to be able to do business or be able to buy goods. And so perhaps this may be a leading up to that. I personally believe, in my opinion, that this is what this is about. I don't believe at all that this is for the good and betterment of the country. But that's another story, and I digress. The rest of this article goes on to say, asked about Biden's comments, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said on August 4th that, quote, there are leaders who are not stepping up and are getting in the way of the American people, companies, and others who are trying to save lives and stop the spread of Delta, a variant of the CCP, or the Chinese Communist Party virus. End quote. DeSantis responded at a briefing in Florida, noting that while campaigning, Biden vowed to, quote, shut down the virus, end quote. And what has he done? He's imported more virus. Now get this now. This is what DeSantis said. And what has he done? He has imported more virus from around the world by having a wide open southern border. You have hundreds of thousands of people pouring across every month, he said. The number of illegal border crossings has increased every month since Biden took office, reaching a 20-year high in July, according to preliminary numbers. Now get this now. According to these preliminary numbers, it states that the number of illegal border crossings has increased every month since Biden took office, reaching a 20-year high in July, according to preliminary numbers. Now that's interesting. Officials in border cities have said COVID-19 positive illegal immigrants are being released by federal officials. Let me read that again. Officials in border cities have said COVID-19 positive illegal immigrants are being released by federal officials. Why would you release people who are have been positively diagnosed with this virus and release them? What is the excuse for that? But at the same time, they're saying, "Oh, we need to stop. We need to lock down on Governor DeSantis and other states that don't want to mandate these masks or mandate these vaccines." But at the same time, you're letting illegal immigrants or illegal aliens, whichever one you want to call them, into the country or releasing them prematurely with this virus. The problem here that I have is a problem of hypocrisy. Double tongue. You say one thing and then you do another thing. See, that's why I believe in my heart that the stuff that the Biden administration is doing, and that a lot of these far leftist groups are doing, and a lot of these communist supporting and Marxist supporting or sympathizing groups are doing, is purposely trying to destroy this country. Because they'll say one thing and they'll completely do another. We have evidence of it right here in an article. This is not my opinion. This is what this article says, and it's quoting the words of these officials. This article is not an opinion piece. Okay, let me read further. DeSantis has also accused the Biden administration of ignoring science that indicates people who recover from COVID-19 enjoy strong immunity against reinfection. I hope I said that right. Get tongue-tied. And this is DeSantis' words. He says, he rejects science because he denies the fact that people that recover from COVID-19 have long-lasting immunity. DeSantis says, federal health agencies acknowledge the science behind post-recovery immunity, but say people who recover should still get a COVID-19 vaccine, claiming that doing so provides additional protection. DeSantis has received criticism from state officials as well, including Nikki Fried, the Florida Agricultural Commissioner. They allege that he isn't doing enough to prevent the spread of the virus as hospitalizations and cases jump. DeSantis, now this is what DeSantis has said the virus is seasonal and he expects the metrics to drop soon, while noting that deaths have remained low. On August 4th, he said people can make their own decision about what precaution to take. Now, let me make a comment here before I read any further. I agree with that. I think that, in fact, that every state should have the freedom, or the state governors in that particular state or city should have the right and freedom to make the decisions for their own people. I don't think the federal government should come in and mandate that people wear masks or mandate that people get vaccinated. As I said earlier, that to me sounds too nefarious. It sounds too funky. You should be giving that governor or that state should have the right to make their own decisions. I'm pretty sure they're darn capable of doing so without the federal government coming in and trying to mandate or dictate what they should and shouldn't do. If there's a problem in that state, if things go crazy in that state, that's on the governor of that state. Let it be on the governor of that state. You can't allow illegals to come in having a vaccine, not having a vaccine, having a virus, and allow them to come into the country and spread this virus around. And yet at the same time tell other state governors, hey, you guys have to mandate you guys wear masks and mandate y'all get vaccinated. You have to be as dumb as a box of rocks to believe anything these people say. But let me go in further. Let me read these further. I'm getting emotional. I think the question is, and this is DeSantis talking, I think the question is, we can either have a free society or we can have a biomedical security state. And I can tell you, Florida, we're a free state, he said, contrasting the lack of statewide measures with New York, where officials this week announced that vaccine passports will be required to enter some businesses. Joe Biden suggested if you don't do lockdown policies, then you should get out of the way. But let me tell you this. If you're coming after the rights of parents in Florida, I'm standing in your way. I'm not going to let you get away with it. If you're trying to ruin their jobs and their livelihoods and their small businesses, if you're trying to lock people down, I am standing in your way. I am standing in your way, and I am standing for the people of Florida. I like that. I like what he said there. So why don't you do your job? Why don't you get this border secure? And until you do that, I don't want to hear a blip about COVID-19 from you, end quote. Those were the words of Governor DeSantis of Florida. So I really appreciated him having the boldness to speak out about this. And I hope more governors in different states have the boldness to speak out about this. These things should be left up to the state. I don't think it should be mandated. I don't think it should be a federal mandate. It should be left up to the states. And even to take it further, it should be left up to the businesses, the private businesses, as to whether or not people should wear masks, or whether or not, they should wear masks or not wear masks, or whatever the case may be. I mean, I think that's a decision that they should make on their own. I don't think the federal government should have anything to do with that. And I agree with the governor here. And I live in the state of Ohio, and the governor here, Governor DeWine, has stated that he will not mandate masks and he will not mandate the vaccine. That's what he said so far. We'll see what happens, though. Hopefully he won't buckle under the pressure from the federal government, but hopefully he'll take a stand. But to do such a thing like this, to try to mandate people get vaccinated, that's taking it too far. That to me is basically an indication of a totalitarian government, and I am in total disagreement of that. I think we should all have the right to choose whether or not, in terms of states is concerned, to choose whether or not we should get vaccinated. It's our choice. So if you all have something to say about this, please comment, make your comments, press the like button if you like this, or share this video. And my solution to this is simply manage the borders. Simple as that. That's my solution. My solution is manage the borders. The federal government should manage the borders. If you manage the borders, we probably would. If you manage the borders, then it'll give you more credence. You can say, "Well, I'm going to manage the borders, make sure that people that's coming over here don't have the virus." But you can't say to other states, "I'm going to mandate you guys get vaccinated," and in the meantime, keep the borders open where hundreds of thousands of people are coming into the country that we don't know whether or not they got the virus. They could be have an Ebola virus. We don't know what these people have. That's not fair, and there is no way of justifying that. That's my solution to that. So as I said before, if you guys like this, press the like button. Make your comments. Let's have a discussion about this. Share this video, and you guys have a great and prosperous day. God bless you.